Good morning, Graham. It's Harvey. Hey, I just wanted to show you a few things about the car that might not be totally obvious or were well beneath the level of detail for the ad. So this is pretty much a random walk around showing you some things. Not professional grade, but it should give you some ideas. Okay. Fairly obvious about how to open the door and get in the car. The first thing I will apologize about, this car is what I'd call a door slammer. To get the door to close well, you need to give it a pretty good shove. It's just the way it is. I actually spent a lot of time carving material off the back of the seals and things to get it to where it would close without having to go totally crazy. But and hopefully the seals will soften up over use, but we'll see. On the other side, actually this other door is pretty good. So first thing, maybe you know about, maybe you don't. How do you get into the back? So there's a latch. There's a latch right in there, and you just pull it, and you'll see the back pop open. And then this is a little tricky, but it'll be a little easier to see once we open it up. There's a safety catch. So what you're doing is you're reaching through there, and you're pushing this safety catch out of the way. So there's just enough room with your fingers to reach in there and push that out of the way, and then it'll open up. Nothing special to talk about back here. If you grab this ring, you can pull these boards up and get at the spare tire and a few things like that. You have to have this part of the seat articulated forward to be able to get those boards out. Fairly obvious stuff. There's some little latches for the rear quarter windows. And then when you close it, I basically get it close and then just give it a good shove and it'll latch. Okay, opening up the bonnet. There's a pull handle. Now for running on the highway, you rotate it to a lock position. You turn it up and you pull it straight back. There's two of them. Hey, Zach, could you come here and hold this for a second? So when you get to this step here, basically, I kind of take one hand under here and one hand in the power bulb. And I'll explain why you had to do that in just a second. And then there's a little latch, a safety latch again. You push it in. So it's a lot easier to see after you get open. You push that in, and that releases the latch. And it's the same thing when you're going back down. You push the latch open to catch it. So this way, if the catches come loose, the thing doesn't pop up. But since the wind's trying to blow it down, that's probably belt and suspenders type situation. Okay. Actually, I am going to have you hold it again just a second. So I did a pretty long video about the engine compartment. I'm not going to get into that again. But Zach, if you hold this, there's a little trick when you're going back and closed. So you're going to hold the latch open. You have to start on the driver's side, and generally you've got the door open. You have to push pretty hard, and all of a sudden it'll pop in. And then you push the latch forward and close. You have to, it's a long story, but you have to start from this side, and then you'll walk around to the other side and kind of do the same thing. So you kind of stand over it and push the latch in and rotate it. Okay, thanks. The reason for that is to get this panel alignment looking pretty good, you have to put a pretty good squeeze on the latch mechanism. And once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. There is yet another gasket in here that's, you know, brand new and stiff, and you just have to be aware of that. Once you get used to it, you're pretty good. Okay, Zach, if you just want to stand here and point in. Okay, there are people on the forums that claim they go out to their cars and they start right up one second. They must live blessed lives, because this car probably hasn't been started in 2 weeks. So here's the starting procedure. Regardless of how long it's been, here's the starting procedure. You turn the key, quarter turn to the right. You'll hear the SU fuel pump clicking. I don't think the video picks that noise up. It just stopped clicking, okay? Now I'm going to take this, they call it the choke. I'm going to take this lever, and I'm literally going to kind of give it a little bit of an upward cast. Make sure you're in neutral. I'm going to push the button, and we'll see what happens. And one more time. So that's my car. I mean, it doesn't start right up. Now, if we came out tomorrow, boom, it'd start right up. It just seems to be the longer you go, the worse it is. So the only reason I hold up on this choke lever is you're getting the maximum enrichment. And by the way, it doesn't do any good to pump the pedal. It doesn't do any good. There's no reason to try that. It's just, and the way the mechanism works, this will not go all the way to the top. You just push on it, don't go crazy, hold it up as high as you can. Now the car is running, and you can almost immediately take this back down a little bit, and now we're pretty much on what they call fast idle. And then after you drive the car or even let it idle for a few minutes, you can go all the way back down. I have this is kind of like, I've got it to where it will go as far as it will here. When you push it down here, the red light will go out. Sometimes while you're driving, it'll just pop right up. It's a little annoying. The red light will come on in the corner of your eye, and you catch it and you push it back down. There's another red light way over here. That's on because the handbrake is on. So that's a good reminder if you've got your handbrake on. The rest of the control functions, I think I went over in the videos on the for sale ad, and you'll figure it out soon enough. And also that book that I sent you with the title, I'm sure it goes through all that. So turning it off is just as simple as turning the key. That's all you need to do. All right, before I sign off, I'm sitting here trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to tell you. Oh, yeah. This is going to sound really strange. There's actually a radio back up under this cowl. Long story short is I bought a radio 10 years ago, aftermarket, nothing special in the way of a radio. When I did the restoration last year, the radio didn't seem to want to work, and I wondered what to do. It actually is a lot of work to get this all taken apart. I just literally pushed the radio back in here and put the blanking plate on there. Be honest with you, with today's technology, I am totally happy with a cell phone and a pair of earbuds for music or whatever in the car. But if you want to put some sort of a radio in there, at some point you literally have to take this console out and this, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can get at the radio. There's a chance you can take the speaker covers off. I haven't thought about it. That may work. But if you don't need a radio right away, save yourself the aggravation, because it is a little bit of a trial. Okay, I'm not going to do it, but you take these two thumb screws out. This center panel will rotate down. It's a little stiff. It's got a lot of wires on the other side, but your fuse panel is back in behind there. You should not be blowing out fuses. It's all new wires. Everything on there was refurbished, brand new fuses. But if you do blow a fuse, think you've blown a fuse out, that's where they are. The steering wheel with this little lever, right, this knob will go in and out a little bit. I think we talked about this. Zach, you show back up. There's a lever right here. That lever, if you use it, allows you to move the seat up, back. It's pretty much infinitely adjustable. So that's kind of nice. If you're like me, if you're driving for a while, you like to just change your position a little bit. And the seat tracks on this work well enough. They're not factory like a new car today, but I've actually heard that it helps to have weight on the seats when you're trying to move them backwards and forwards. I think that's it. I know you'll enjoy the car. It's in very good condition, and you should just get a big kick out of it. So, okay, enjoy it. Zach, just touch the button on the top there, this red button. It should